All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really insightful piece by Nava Hopkins from Search Engine Land. We're going to break down a massive shift happening in digital marketing right now. Specifically, how artificial intelligence is completely redefining the way we need to look at search.
So let me ask you something. Is your organic traffic just, well, disappearing? You're doing absolutely everything right with your keywords, checking all the boxes, and yet, crickets. If you're feeling that pain right now, I want you to know you're definitely not alone. A lot of marketers are struggling with this, and the culprit isn't necessarily a bad strategy, it's just an outdated one. Here's the hard truth we really need to face today. What users type into that little search box, it isn't always what they actually want. We've gotten so obsessed with the exact syntax, the literal letters and words, that we're completely missing the actual breathing human beings sitting on the other side of the screen. We're optimizing for machines, but we're missing the psychology.
To fix this, we're going to quickly walk through the search syntax problem, the difference between query and conversion intent, a really great example involving purple hair dye, how to optimize for both the algorithm and the human, and finally, how brand and performance are converging.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the search syntax problem and why our outdated strategies are breaking down. Look, user behavior is dramatically shifting toward conversational queries. It's just a fact. And AI, it's now a massive part of that user journey, doing the heavy lifting and synthesizing info way before a user ever sees a traditional search results page. But here's the catch. Marketers are still clinging to these rigid, syntax-oriented keyword strategies. And honestly, clinging to those old silos as search gets more conversational, that's a surefire way to hand your audience right over to your competitors. Which brings us to Section 2, query versus conversion intent. Think of modern search like a giant iceberg. Right there at the top, just the tip of the iceberg, is query intent. This is just the underlying need driving the literal text typed into a search function or an AI prompt. It's purely surface level. Like someone types purple hair dye, okay, clear query intent, they want the dye. But it totally lacks the deeper context of who they actually are. But then, underneath the water, that massive unseen chunk of the iceberg, that is conversion intent. That's the human need to achieve a specific outcome. You understand this through stated and inferred data points, past behaviors, what content they consume. It's the messy, complex human motivation that actually makes someone pull out their wallet. And this comparison right here really nails the friction we're dealing with. On the left, query intent is just what is said. It's machine input, highly syntax-focused. But on the right, conversion intent is what is actually desired, the human outcome. The crazy thing is, modern AI systems are out there running complex background queries right now, specifically to bridge that exact gap between the basic machine input and the real human desire. Let's ground this in reality with Section 3, the purple hair dye example, to see this intent in action. Watch what happens when we add just a little bit of context. If a user searches for purple hair dye for long wavy hair, the query intent is still transactional, sure. But the inferred human needs, the conversion intent, huge. Long hair tells us they need a higher volume of dye to cover all that length. The whole query suggests they likely identify as female. Wavy hair means they require a specific formula suited for that exact hair composition. If you're just blindly bidding on the keyword purple hair dye, you are literally missing all the vital context that actually makes this person convert. So how do we actually fix it? That starts in Section 4, optimizing for the algorithm. To capture query intent in an AI-first world, you've got to be crystal clear. First up, ensure your feed and landing page clarity are spot on. Your core offering has to be easily mapped by the machine, like making sure it knows the difference between a DUI and a DUI service. Number 2, you absolutely have to add rich context to your images using alt text. AI reads that visual context to figure out how to position you. And third, invest the time to track search trends. Use tools to see exactly how AI is citing and grounding your content out in the wild. But hey, the algorithm is just step 1. Now we need Section 5, optimizing for the human. Because getting the algorithm's blessing, that's only half the battle. Once they find you, you've got to actually convert them. That means mapping your creative messaging to the diverse personas you're trying to reach. You need to utilize real insights from customer reviews and your sales intake data to find out why people are actually saying yes. Also, you've got to honor the impulsive nature of visual content. If someone comes from a quick video, they're inspired right then and there. So create frictionless one-click checkout pads so they don't have to overthink doing business with you. Which brings us to the grand finale here, Section 6, brand and performance converge. We used to put brand and performance into totally separate buckets, right? Different budgets, different mindsets. The old way was brand equals reach and performance equals efficiency. But today, in the AI era, the user does not experience those as separate things. Early exposure to your brand storytelling actually acts as a massive performance accelerator. It builds that crucial familiarity and trust, which radically shortens the decision cycle when that high-intent query finally drops. And honestly, this is the magic of modern search. In AI-assisted experiences, these systems are constantly synthesizing multiple inputs over time. Your content, your reviews, your historical engagement, it all counts. Strong brand signals don't compete with your performance outcomes anymore. They literally enable them. By making your brand easy to understand early on, you're directly fueling those performance metrics downstream.
Nava Hopkins perfectly summarizes this entire shift with this quote: "Success comes from designing systems that reflect how humans actually decide, not just how they type." I just love that. It's such a powerful reminder that syntax and keywords, they're really just tools. Human psychology, building trust, and solving a real human need, that is the actual target we need to be aiming for.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one absolutely critical question. Are you optimizing for keywords or are you optimizing for customers? Seriously, take a hard look at your campaigns this week and ask yourself who you're really building them for. Because in this new age of AI search, the brands that focus on the human, those are the ones that are going to win.